Andreas Lübeck welcomes visitors to the Toyota Zero Emission Tour in Frankfurt. Toyota's organized the tour to raise awareness of hydrogen as an alternative energy source and, of course, of its own hydrogen-powered models like the Mirai. Mirai's Wiedger Falk explains that the combustion engine is replaced by a fuel cell with zero emissions. So far, hydrogen-powered vehicles have been left mostly by the wayside. But fuel cells will almost certainly prove an essential component in future mobility concepts. Friedbert Weizenegger cites hydrogen power's great advantages for long distances, fast refueling, and greater range. A chemical reaction between the hydrogen and the oxygen in the air releases the energy used to propel the vehicle. The only byproduct is pure water. The fueling process closely resembles the one used for natural gas. It's almost as simple as for gasoline. In spite of all these points in favor of this drive technology, relatively little research has been done, largely because of the cost. Willy Loderhose is convinced hydrogen technology is the future. He even thinks battery electric drive will only serve to bridge the gap. Toyota's Ferry France describes hydrogen as a highly environmentally friendly solution, and it's easy to produce from renewable sources such as wind power. Hydrogen serves as the storage medium, which is far more ecological than a purely battery electric technology. For now, the Toyota Mirai is one of a very few hydrogen-powered production vehicles. Georg Fischer cautions that it takes some getting used to. The body looks very futuristic, but that's only appropriate to a car of the future. The Mirai's 114 kilowatt output and 178 km/h top speed may not be impressive, but for that, the torque kicks in spontaneously. Friedbert Weizenegger thinks it's fun. The car shoots forward. That's the feeling that's so nice about electric drive. The Mirai heads to the energy park in Mainz. An employee shows how electricity generated by wind power is used to produce hydrogen renewably through electrolysis. For legal reasons, we can't show the process here. One great advantage of hydrogen power is that it's relatively easy to transport and store it for long periods of time without energy losses. Wiedger Falk is certain the technology will eventually form the basis of transportation. He predicts a transitional phase over the next 10 to 20 years, but all indicators point to hydrogen, and he labels the safety issues and ongoing discussions about them as fairy tales. Crash tests have shown that the Mirai's safety features meet all the requirements. He describes it as absolutely safe. Passenger cars aren't the only vehicles that can make use of hydrogen drive. Ferry France points out that discussions of mobility always seem to end up with heavy load transport, but here hydrogen is the perfect drive medium because it won't make up as much of the payload in buses and trucks as batteries would for electric drive. The potential applications of hydrogen reach even beyond transportation. This hotel in Frankfurt, as one example, has its own fuel cell to supply the entire building with electricity. That makes the hotel independent of the local power grid. It's the only project of its kind in Europe so far. Wiedger Falk personally would like to see greater acceptance for hydrogen technology by the public and a better network of filling stations for hydrogen in Germany. And he'd like to see more hydrogen-powered models because competition stimulates business. Willy Loderhose points out that we're still at the beginning, and he expects that 10 to 20 years will have to pass, not 3 to 5, before we see any real progress, and longer before hydrogen technology really becomes well established. But it's coming.